Greetings and warm welcome, everybody. My name is Kelsey, and today I'm going to guide you through a Yin Yoga and Affirmations practice that is themed around the seasonal holiday of Imbolc. This day symbolizes the halfway point, approximately, between the Winter Solstice and the Spring Equinox, and it is meant to bring new energy, new intention, and hope into the rest of the winter season, leading us into spring. This day is often associated with the goddess of fertility and poetry known as Brigid, and so she and her likeness are often celebrated on this day. To honor her energy and her creativity, I invite you to light some candles, to bring your journal close to your mat, and to really just write down anything that comes up for you as we move through this practice and we repeat the affirmations. You may even choose to spend some time after the practice really diving deep into whatever is coming up for you. Whenever we do affirmation work, I want you to notice the way that you naturally respond to the words of the affirmations when you repeat them internally. Really not trying to judge those reactions, but to just acknowledge if the words that are spoken feel true for you, if they create some type of discomfort. Usually if there's some discomfort, that means we have some growth to do in that area. And then if an intention or an affirmation just doesn't feel true to you at all, and it doesn't resonate with you, and it actually causes you to experience some type of emotional or mental pain, then I just invite you to let it go, to maybe repeat something else that is meaningful to you, or to just focus on your breath. And so we're going to kick off our Yin Yoga and Affirmations practice with Star Pose. So I'll turn on my mat so it's a little bit easier for you to see. I have a blanket here underneath my seat. This helps me find a little bit more mobility in my pelvis and a little bit more length in my lower back as we move into the poses. And Star Pose is a variation of butterfly pose in which you're going to have the soles of the feet together, knees apart, but your feet are going to slide further away from your groin than what you usually would. Think about a wide diamond shape that you're making with your legs. And then I like to place a block on, let's start on its medium setting, and we can always move it lower or higher if needed, but I place it on top of my feet for my head to rest down on. And then you thread your forearms, palms face up, underneath your calves and your shins. Let your legs be heavy, and then let your head be heavy, maybe again resting it down onto the block. So I'm turning my block down a level. Let your spine round naturally. Close your eyes or just soften your gaze. And as you begin to soften your muscles in this pose and come to stillness, we will internally repeat the affirmation, "Inspiration flows to me freely." Inspiration flows to me freely. And just acknowledge how those words and how that statement makes you feel. Anytime your mind wanders away, come back to your breath, come back to the affirmation to keep you present. And I'll give you some time in each pose in silence so that you can just experience what it's like to be here in stillness and in silence. Take another breath in. And then exhale, unthread your arms, press down through your hands to help you rise out of that deep forward bend, come back to upright. From here, moving your block out of the way if you are using one, and if you do have something to sit up on, turning to face the longer edge of your mat and sitting up on whatever that thing is, a bolster, a pillow, or a blanket, and extend your legs out wide for Dragonfly, our next yin pose. So your legs only have to be wider than the width of your hips, going to your appropriate edge. And then I'm going to use my block again underneath my forehead out in front of me. Make sure that you are letting your legs be really soft from the tips of your toes all the way up to the tops of your thighs. And then again, let gravity pull you forward into this forward bend, this wide-legged fold. And as we get settled here, internally repeat to yourself, I am an open channel for creativity. I am an open channel for creativity. Take another breath in. Exhale, press down through your hands. Slowly walk your hands in as you rise back up to an upright seat. Feel that release through your back, your hips, through the backs of your legs. And then our next pose is going to be Swan. So you can turn to face towards your left leg, bend your left knee, and pick your hips up a little bit so that you can walk your right leg back behind you. You may bring your block if you have one, or a pillow, a blanket, any type of cushion underneath your hips. I'm going to use my block underneath my rib cage so that my arms don't have to do as much work. And then just let my head be heavy. And in this pose, you can internally repeat to yourself, I am resilient, and life's challenges bless me with wisdom. I am resilient, and life's challenges bless me with wisdom. Take another breath in. Exhale with a sigh into your mat. Breathe in, lift your head. Press into your hands to lift your upper body up. If you're using a prop in front of you, move it out of the way. Lean over to your left hip and let's swing the right leg around and on top of the left thigh. So you're trying to stack your knees on top of one another. And from here, we're just going to fold forward again into shoelace. You can use your block underneath your head or underneath your seat. You can also use a blanket underneath your seat for this pose. Just letting your head be heavy and going down as far as sensational and safe for you. And we'll just continue with that same affirmation. I am resilient, and life's challenges bless me with wisdom. Take another breath in. Exhale, lift your head, press into your hands and walk them back to slowly rise out of the pose. And it might feel good to extend your legs out in front of you for a moment. You can lean back on your hands and just maybe take the toes in circles. Bounce out your knees, windshield wiper your toes and your knees. We'll do those same two poses on the opposite side. So for Swan, you might start in table, bringing your right knee behind your right wrist and then walking your left leg back behind you. Maybe bringing something underneath your hips or something underneath your chest like what I'm doing here. Lowering down to your forearms and then let your head be heavy. And as we soften, begin to internally repeat, I am hopeful and excited for the future. I am hopeful and excited for the future. Use your next inhale to lift your head. Walk yourself onto your hands. Lift your upper body. Lean over to your right hip this time and swing your left leg around. I'm just going to scoot a little bit more to the center of my mat. And you'll stack your left knee on top of your right, or just trying to work towards that. They may not stack directly. Even my knees are not stacked right on top of one another, but we're looking for a stretch in the outside of the hips and into the glutes a little bit maybe. You can use your block again underneath your forehead in front of you, and we'll fold down, again repeating that affirmation from Swan. I am hopeful and excited for the future. Next breath in, press into your hands, slowly raise away from the fold. Walk your hands back, use the help of your arms to come back to head over heart and heart over hips. And then again, it could feel good to lean back onto your hands, extend your legs forward, and just move in any way that feels good. Laying down on our backs from here, making our way into a supported bridge pose. So make sure that you have a cushion or block nearby. I'm just moving my hair clip out of the way so that it doesn't poke me in the back of the head. And you'll press into your feet, lift your hips up, and bring a block or cushion underneath your lower back. You really want it to be supporting your sacrum. And this is where we will take our last Yin Yoga pose and our last affirmation. Internally repeating here, the ground of my life is fertile and supports abundance. The ground of my life is fertile and supports abundance. Take one more breath in here. Exhale, sigh it out. And you can press into your feet to lift your hips up. Move the prop that you use beneath you out of the way. Rest your hips back down, and you may choose to stay in this constructive rest pose, or you could extend out through your legs. Coming into Shavasana, your final resting pose. Laying here for just a little while to let the nutrients of your practice sink in. And you'll hear my voice when it's time to come out. Enjoy. Remaining just as you are, bring your awareness back to your breath. As you feel ready, begin to wake your body up with small, gentle movements. Maybe take one more big stretch with your arms overhead. Breathe in to stretch. Breathe out to soften your arms down again. In your own time, draw your knees into your body. Give yourself a big hug. Maybe do some rocks side to side. And let this rocking motion land you onto your right side. And then press your way up to a comfortable seat. And I'll meet you there. Take your time. There's no rush at all. Whenever you arrive in your seat, sit up nice and tall. Soften your eyes again. Take a few more slow breaths to close out your practice. And notice how it has made you feel. Notice what has come up for you as you repeated the affirmations. And with gratitude in our hearts, palms together in front of the heart space, and we'll close by bowing forward, saying Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me and allowing me to guide you. I'm sending you all of the Imbolc blessings in my heart, and I hope that you have a beautiful, beautiful holiday halfway between the darkness of winter and the light of spring. Let me know how this practice went for you in the comments down below. I hope to see you on the mat next week as I put out a new class every single Sunday. So please subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you there. Thank you again. Namaste.